Hello, and welcome back to Scene by Few with Nick and Lance. This week we're doing a new to the scene for Loki season 2 in particular. We're going to discuss the entire season in its entirety, which is probably going to include discussions of season 1, so I guess beware. It's only 6 episodes for the new season, so 6-ish hours, between like 5 and 6 hours to get through. And then, season 1 was also 6 episodes, but it kind of seems like it's like all one season, I think. I mean, there's kind of a little bit of a separation, but like this pretty much flows. Season 1 pretty much directly flows into season 2 to the point that it could have been one season because it kind of wraps up the Loki storyline, I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, but the TBA is
That stuff could still potentially go on, I
yeah.
guess. So we'll start off with our scores pretty early on, and then we're going to get into spoilers for the season. So if you've not checked it out, it's on Disney Plus. It's all out. Go do it now.
Hey, and I want to thank
Stay off Twitter.
Yeah, stay off Twitter. Don't look at anything within like the hour of it being out on Twitter, or I mean, yeah, it's just bad news. You'll get it ruined. Or Facebook, or
Social media.
yeah, just social media in general. YouTube, you'll see a clip. You won't even read anything. You'll just see like the fucking
Thumbnail,
thumbnail, and you'll be like,
thumbnail.
ah, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that. I was going through some stuff earlier. I went right by it, and Amber was just like, I was like, don't fucking look at that. So
Did you want to say something? I just want to thank.
I just want to thank all 8 of y'all for watching this video, because we're trying to get in on it while it's hot, and the 8 of you that keep this video alive.
Are also busy like some people around here and don't watch this stuff immediately,
There's that.
presumably. But okay, so Lance, what would you rate season 2 of Loki on a scale from 0 to 10?
I would give it. I'd give it a 7.
No, okay, I went low.
No,
Low with a 6 because I know how excited you were to watch this particular season.
well, it's just we were just dragging our feet. There's too much
Oh,
shit
yeah.
to watch and too many video games. So
Yeah.
I think superhero creep is starting to set in a little bit. Superhero fatigue. But this one picked me back up.
No, that's good.
So how about you, Nick?
I'm also going to give it a 7. I think there's some episodes that are better, and some episodes that are about like a 6. Mm-hmm. So like between 6 and 8 kind of brings it closer to a 7 for me.
So I had 7, and then I did the pessimistic down drop 1 point, but well. So you've been warned. We're now heading into spoilers.
Yeah,
So yeah, I really dug this season.
it was fun. Like it started off pretty good, and then like near the middle, I'm like, okay, like where the fuck are we going? And then near the end, like the last episode, I think kind of brought it back to be a bit more enjoyable for me.
Yeah, so by the 5th episode, I was just like, how the fuck are they going to get out of this? And then the 6th episode started up, and I was like, they're fucked. They're just flat fucked. And then the way they wrapped it up, I thought was pretty interesting. And I loved Short Round
Yeah,
in this.
Ki Chuan, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he was just so. I can't look it up because it's got the scores, and I don't want to ruin that. But yeah, he was delightful. I loved him.
Yep. As Ouroboros.
Yeah, and I even liked it when he was like, "Oh, I call him OB," and he's like, "I like that." And then like later on when they go to him in the past, and they're like, "Ouroboros," and he's like, "Oh, that's ominous." I feel like we're a snake eating our own tail, and it was like,
Yep.
But yeah, it had a lot of fun turns. I even thought that was his name Jonathan Majors, the guy who.
Yes, the guy that was that's Kang.
Yes, I even thought he was delightful.
Yeah, as Timely, whatever is
Yeah.
Victor Timely.
Victor Timely.
It was a fun take on Kang after watching him in a couple of different things and seeing him as the he who remains, seeing that sort of little snake oil salesman or whatever it was interesting.
But I mean, he even built like the device. Even if he was a snake oil salesman, he built the fucking device.
He just does. There's the technology does not exist for him to actually make it.
Yeah, but like the whole thing, like them going back and seeing him in the past, and he's like, "I thought you said this guy was scary," and he's like, "He is fucking scary."
Oh yeah.
All that was great. I had some assumptions on some stuff that was going to happen that didn't come to fruition. I'm hoping they do more with it later. Because honestly, when he went back in time, when he learned how to control it and went back in time and caught Owen Wilson as the jet ski rider and stuff like that, the salesman.
Yeah.
I was hoping that because Loki showed up in these different people's
That's what
timeline,
caused the branch.
is that what caused the branch and for the TVA to show up and be like,
We need to
we
pull
got to
one.
take you now.
I don't know.
So, but I don't think we'll ever know that now.
Yeah, I don't know that we will either.
Okay, so yeah, it's just like they help save the world, and then the TVA is like, "Thank you for your service, a flashy,"
Yeah.
and then get to fucking work, So, I thought that might have been where it came in, but they were just essentially just variants.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, I think I'd like to believe that Owen Wilson is a jet ski salesman in every reality.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's one in which he's an actor. Wow.
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 Wow. That's a hot take, Nick. Wow. But yeah, it was. I didn't expect to like this one. I watched the first episode and was like, okay,
Yeah, it had me like into it a little bit.
yeah. The time fuckery was a little a little unsettling at first.
Like when he was warping through the TVA or whatever.
Yeah, where he just kept like time jumping and how Ouroboros was like so knowledgeable about everything. He's like, you're time jumping. That's not allowed in the TVA. He said, yet you just saw it. And he was like, yeah, I did. Weird. Yeah. He was delightful. I loved him.
Yeah. I even liked his original self, I guess. Where he was like sneaking into the bookstore and like buying his own book.
This book is not ringing you up. Oh, I'll just pay in cash.
So just I'll pay, okay. Well,
Why is he paying for his own book? He wanted to be the first person to buy his own book?
It's salesman or starship or whatever to be like, you want to go in and like, this is the hot new book. I read every one of this guy's books. And this is the best book ever. And then he walks out like, I'm gonna buy. I bought this new book, and this is gonna go and try to hype yourself up and leave some behind.
Okay, he was being his own hype man.
Uses
Got it.
yeah, his own promotion.
Hey man, it's he wrote the manual and then he wrote the book, and props to him.
But also Kang wrote the manual, but he wrote the manual, and they wrote it for each other. It's the Ouroboros. There's no beginning. There's no end.
It's weird. Yeah, like some of the stuff they did in the show with like the timey-wimey shit. Like I was trying to make sense of it, and then I was like, they're just having fun with it, so stop.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's also kind of the concept of the Ouroboros. Like, a lot of times it's in a circle with the snake eating itself. Sometimes you also see it twisted, so it's the infinity sign of the snake eating its own tail.
I mainly am familiar with the infinity sign, but it's like, you know where the beginning and the end is because you could see the head and you could see the tail it's eating.
But it's, it's weird. It's just kind of the idea of the serpent eating its own tail, and it's kind of like infinity.
No.
Like, there's no beginning to it anymore. There's no end to it. It's just kind of always is, always has been.
No. What's your favorite scene?
I don't know. I don't think that far ahead.
I like the interrogation.
Okay, where they were putting him into the smaller boxes.
Yeah, where they were playing the good cop, bad cop.
That was fun.
And then, like, whenever he first put him in the little globe, he was like, okay, I said some mean things and I am sorry. I was like, oh, he's going to spill so hard. But yeah, like when he started basically like encapsulating him in that thing and making it smaller. And then he was like, I'm the villain after all. And then he finally released him. And then when Owen Wilson came walking through the room, he was like, you were in on this? And he was like, yeah, it worked perfectly. Good job, Loki. When the girl came back later and put the entire team in it.
And squished him.
Yeah, and like, you didn't get to see it.
Yep, you just got to see it on his face.
Yeah, you got to hear it, and you got to see it on the girls. Was it B-15?
When Ravona and like the guy's face, because he was the one that flopped with him. The actor, what was his name? Like Adam or something like that. Or Ben or something.
I can't remember. Nick. I think his name was Nick.
Was it Nick? It might have been. I wonder if they.
If you don't remember it, I'm going to be upset. Nick.
Oh,
I'm not going to look. I don't want to cheat.
That name's boring. Everyone has that name. Is he in the heart of the TVA, I think?
I don't know.
The 4th episode. Loki, Sylvie, Mobius, Judge, B-52, Hunter D-90?
That might have been it.
Yeah, they don't give him an alternate name.
That's fine. I wish I would have remembered his...
Oh, it's Brad. Brad Wolf.
Brad. That's right. What was this movie?
I don't remember the name of the movie.
Man. If you remember the name of the movie, write it in the comments.
Yeah, I don't pay that much attention to shows.
Yeah,
I think my favorite scene is probably Loki chasing down Brad and using like all the imagery of him, and like I am the god of trickery after all.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, there was a lot to like on this season. Like I was not expecting to really kind of get into it because I'll be honest with you, the first season was
It was interesting.
it was interesting,
But
but
that
it
was about
wasn't.
it.
Yeah, it was just okay.
Yeah.
And then this season they kind of like kicked it up a notch. I loved Sylvia in this season.
She was okay.
Yeah, I liked how no nonsense she was. It was just kind of like, okay, I was happy just peddling my burgers out in fucking middle of bumfuck nowhere.
But yeah, we can't do that because, unfortunately, it's all crashing down, even all the branches. You can't just come and kill them and have infinite branches and everything will be cool.
Yeah,
'Cause apparently, shit just destabilizes.
yeah. I think I really like Jonathan Majors when she was trying to kill him.
Yeah,
And
like the second time around for her coming after him.
yeah, and when she leaned in and like the sword was like, whoosh, and he went woo close. He was having fun with it, and then finally Loki just got sick of it, and he was like, "What? Don't you know how to pause time?" And finally Loki paused time, and he's like, "Why aren't you trying to defend yourself? Why aren't you helping me?"
Yeah,
You know, like that just shows you. I thought they fucked up when they pulled Thanos out because Thanos is a big one. He's a biggie big. Kang, I think only really niche nerds are gonna know Kang
yeah, probably.
from the comics. I remember seeing him like big blue fucking head,
Yeah.
in the
Like
comic books.
the purple armor and blue face and all that kind of weird stuff.
Yeah,
I've seen him in things, but I never read about him in the comics.
yeah, I've seen him, but I didn't read those comics back in the day.
No. He was mostly an Avengers thing, I think,
Yeah,
for a lot of it.
yeah, good on
I read X-Men. He wasn't an X-Men villain, so I didn't see much of him.
good on you, Favreau, for tricking the world into thinking the Avengers and Iron Man were cool.
Yeah, because it kind of not.
Yeah, it's Iron Man was not a very popular title back then.
Yeah, we never even got the drunk Iron Man, which is unfortunate.
Well, we did
We got him
partying.
off the palladium poisoning or whatever it was. Not
Yeah.
really like full on alcohol. I'm a drunkard.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that was probably a sore spot with
Well, like that one came out around the time of Hancock, the Will Smith movie, in which he was a drunk Superman,
and you can't do that.
and you're not going to put out that at the same time, even though it's got precedence in the comics or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
So they made it palladium poisoning.
Well, I think Robert Downey Jr. went through a phase where it was like he was having problems with drugs and alcohol, so that might have been a sore spot where he was just like,
Maybe.
I'd rather not act that out, you know?
It could be too. I don't know.
But yeah, I thought that the range that Jonathan Major showed, like when he was sitting down to have a talk with him at the end of the time, and he was like, "Don't you get it? Like everything, I've scripted all of this. You can't get ahead of me. I'm always going to be 10 steps ahead." You have Thanos, who's a big fucking, he's a big name. Then you have Kang, who's not such a big name, but I mean, how do you beat something that understood what the multiverse was in the beginning and learned to control time?
Yeah, and he essentially like separated the multiverse out from the rest of them, so he wouldn't get conquered.
Yeah, he weeded out all the other ones and just made the prime line. And now you've sold everybody else in the TVA that this thing needs to happen.
Yeah, which I guess I don't even know that it's the prime one so much as it's like I imagine you've got like all the timelines over here, and then he took his own one and like separated out over here and just kind of like we're on a different planet entirely. Like we're completely separated from these people.
He made this timeline his own personal playground.
Yeah,
So I mean, how do you beat something like that?
yeah,
Like seriously.
and then it kind of gets into the whole free will sort of thing too. I mean, I can give you guys the free will, but I'm just going to come and murder you all. So what's better, the gilded cage or the freedom to die?
Yeah, it was a very interesting take, and I just thought it how relaxed he was just talking to those people who were coming to basically straight up take him out. He was just like, "There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I've seen all of it, you know." So, and then I mean, does he get the upper hand by the end of the season?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like he became what he needed to be to get everything together, which has some pretty big implications on the MCU.
Yeah.
So like, and then I heard something on a TikTok video the other day of all places, where they were talking about, what if Loki, did Loki just basically become God? And it was like, well, back in Norse mythology, Loki like put all the other gods to sleep and then changed the course of history and people's memory of history and convinced people he was God. And then, kind of like controlled things that way for the longest time. And it was like, I kind of feel like he's in that position now since he's like walked in and he's influenced all the strands of time.
And he's kind of what's weaving it all together. I guess he's filtering it all keeping them all alive. So he's strong.
Yeah.
He's definitely a god.
Yeah, he's going to lose because he's born to lose.
Yeah.
So, you know.
At some point in time, it'll come crashing down. And whether we see Tom Hiddleston back or not, I imagine they could throw a pile of money at him and he'll come back. But he's kind of like, I've concluded my Loki storyline in a satisfying way, and then he'll go on and believe that until the money truck comes,
Yeah.
and the money truck will change a lot of minds. It changed my mind.
You had the money truck back up to your house one time?
If the money truck came up to my house, it would have like, what do you want? We want you to say this. I'm like, absolutely. We want you to. If someone came up to me like, we want you to be the new Gamora. You're like, yeah, I can't do that. They're like, here's the money truck. Be like, fuck it. I mean, it's gonna be awful, but like, I'll be rich.
Are people digging this?
Let's green me up, daddy.
Yeah.
More other ways than one.
I mean, I can't wait to sell out. Watch our videos. Yeah, I can't wait to sell out. Like, I can only imagine.
Well, some people call it selling out. Some people call it making it.
And that's the thing.
And
Well,
it's a matter of perspective. What do you do? What did you do
well,
to make your money?
those who I think want it badly call it selling out. But those who I think kind of stumble into it ass backwards call it making it. You know, like, I don't know. The people in my past who call people sellouts are usually, to me, it's usually jealousy. It's like you're getting paid to do something that you love. How's that selling out?
Or just not realizing like, hey, I want you to do this thing that you enjoy doing for free forever. Be like, I gotta eat.
Yeah.
Is it selling out for me to take like a brand deal, or me to take a buttload of money to beat Loki again?
Yeah.
It keeps me acting. It's not something that I want to do. It keeps me relevant. A thing I want to do. And like, yeah, actors are gonna take a boatload of money to do something silly.
Oh yeah.
And you might not like it because it's your hobby. It's their job.
Yeah. I mean,
It's their families.
I think it was Samuel Jackson who was like encouraging like big Hollywood stars, and it's like, yeah, come and get some of this fucking Disney money. You know, like these movies are gonna run in perpetuity. So,
And I don't think any of the Marvel movies are like garbage. They're not high cinema. They're not high theater. I don't think there's any that you watch and like, this is just utter trash.
Thor 2.
No, it's utter trash now.
It was just bad from beginning to end.
Below a 5, you think? Below 4?
I mean, I'd have to watch.
You'd have to watch it.
That was the one with the blood, right? The dark.
Yeah, the reality stone thingy.
Yeah, I thought it was bad. Like that was a movie that I was just uncomfortable in the theater watching.
But it's got stuff in it that's fun. Like Loki's in it. Loki's good in it.
I don't.
Loki dies in it.
Oh, okay. I don't. I barely. I vaguely remember the movie. Like I liked. Oh, I remember when they found the thing where it was like you throw something in one area and then it like teleports to the other side.
Yeah, because the 9 realms, whatever they are aligning or something like that.
Yeah, I
Like
do remember that.
Malakath was kind of a boring villain, but we had the fight in London or whatever it was. It was interesting. Darcy was kind of amusing, with Darcy with her sidekick, because she
Yeah.
was the intern, but now she had an intern.
Yeah, I just remember when Mjolnir flew past her one time and she's like, meow.
Now,
But the biggest thing I remember about that movie was the gigantic monster that was chasing pigeons after the fucking title sequence. At the very ending, like the very post-credit stinger, like it finally rolls up, and then you see that shot of London, and you see birds flying across, and that gigantic fucking monster that was there. It was like chasing
like all
pigeons
False
down.
Beast or whatever it was.
Yeah, that part was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's got parts in it where it's not a great movie. I don't think it's garbage. The movies, at least. I mean, some of the shows, I was not a particular fan of Secret Invasion, but I don't think it was garbage. It just wasn't great.
Yeah, it was highly predictable,
Yeah,
and it was just boring.
yeah. It's, for a spy thriller, that's not what you want.
Yeah, it was just boring.
And this one, like Loki, I mean, I don't even know what genre this one would particularly go into, but it was interesting.
Mystery,
Yeah, is it a mystery?
kinda,
I wonder what
but it doesn't like it. It doesn't really give you enough information.
action, adventure, fantasy, sci-fi. It's sci-fi, I guess. A time-traveling sci-fi show, which it works okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess in some shows or whatever, like in some stories, it could feel cheap that like nothing mattered. Because basically at the end of this, it's like he walked back a bunch of it, but then he walked forward some of it. So,
Hmm.
but then it was all necessary to kind of like these are the changes that Loki goes through in order to come to this conclusion.
Yeah, but it's like literally, it's the whole thing of Family Guy did an episode where they were like, it was a dream sequence. And the guy was like, "Oh, you don't want to do those," and he's like, "Why not?" And he's like, "Because people get invested in it, and then it's like you're telling them that they're calling them schmucks and get like a big jerk off at the end when you're like, oh, it was all just a dream." But it was like the first 5 episodes was literally him trying to figure out what the fuck was going on when he had the power to control it the entire time. So, but I liked how Ouroboros was trying to like tell him, what the deal was, and then he came to the conclusion. You got to get the band back together, baby. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll take what I can get. So he found, I think Nick was the name of the guy that was escaping Alcatraz.
It might have been his name because that's Casey in the TVA. I don't remember what his name was as the Alcatraz escapee. It might have been Nick.
It might have been Casey. I'm not
Well,
sure.
Casey's like when he's in the TVA, he's Casey,
Ah.
and when you're in the good place, he's Pillboy.
So these little gates, they can go anywhere, right? Can they go into
A bank vault.
a bank vault? And he just like Ouroboros just stares at him. He's like, but yeah, I went into it with zero expectations, and I thought it was going to be like a mission to get through these.
Yeah.
Especially since I started them on Wednesday, and I had to get them done by Saturday. But like the first 3 episodes went down pretty easy,
Yep.
and then I came home, and I started the 4th episode in my comfy chair after a long, hard day of work
And didn't fall asleep.
at about 9 o'clock,
you
and I did not fall asleep.
There you go.
Yeah, to me that's a testament. If I'm engaged, I will not fall asleep, and I can honestly say when that one was over, I jumped up, walked back to the bedroom, and told Amber, I was like, I think you'd like it.
So like, I think it was at the end of the 4th episode when Miss Minutes was like telling Ravonna, "I'm going to tell you something I didn't like." I'm like, "Oh, is Ravonna going to be a Kang variant?" But then I'm like, "Well, I guess not because she was back in the timeline." But then again, I guess that could have been a Kang variant, just kind of something. I'm like, that could have been interesting because we saw a female Loki. Are we going to see a female Kang? But in the end, it wasn't that. I'm like, yeah, okay. It was just kind of a thought.
It would have been so. That didn't occur to me. What did occur to me was that she was going to have the wipey put on her, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And like, he obviously liked her, but he still like blanked her out.
Yep.
Like, how mistrustful do you have to be to like just keep fucking zapping your people?
Why don't you ask Loki?
Okay, good point.
How many times has he betrayed Thor?
That's an excellent point. That's a good. Okay, never mind. I withdraw the statement. But I mean, it came down to it at the part where he said, "Trust me," and Timely said, "My good man, I'm from Detroit. I don't trust anybody." Like that. That I think is the overall thing that every single Kang shares. Like they do not trust. They do not just.
They don't share power.
Yeah, and it's all because of Janet Van Dyne. Like she fucked him over in that one.
That was one of them.
Yeah.
But I guess that one was exiled or some weird shit.
Well, but that was a huge one.
Yeah, he was a big one.
He was super, super fucking salty because of that. But we're not talking
We're
about
not talking
Ant-Man and
about
Wasp.
Quantumania.
Yeah. Did you finally watch it though?
I did watch it before. So I watched that, then rewatched season 1 of Loki because it was kind of slipping my mind, and then I watched season 2 of Loki. So in preparation for this, I watched one movie in 6 episodes, and then another 6 episodes just to make sure I could take it all in for what it was.
I did not know that part of the homework was rewatching the first season. I did not do that.
No, it wasn't necessary. It was more for me because I know I didn't remember much of it, and I think it made it slightly more interesting going back in. I liked seeing the end of season 1. You get to see He Who Remains, then you're kind of like, oh, he's kind of a little bitch, and then you go see like time, like he's kind of a little bitch too. But then you go back to Loki, rewinding time to that last season finale of season 1, and kind of you get to see like the real Kang come out when he's like, no, now you're getting it.
Yeah.
Making all that other stuff feel like it was a scripted event to kind of get Loki where he needed to go. Like he didn't pull Sylvie and Loki there because he wanted them as a pair. He wanted Loki.
Yeah, and Sylvie was just like She was kind of the catalyst that kind
like
of pushed him.
the motivation that he needed to kind of get where he was going to get.
Yeah, he's diabolical and he's very smart. And Jonathan Majors is extremely charismatic. Very good actor. But like, it made me laugh out loud the first time like Loki grabbed her hand and pulled her, and she like lunged at him with the sword, and the sword goes whoosh, and he went woohoo. Close. Like when he did that, I was like, okay, he is not taking this seriously.
No.
He's obviously not afraid to die because he just can't. But
He does.
he does.
Yep.
Because when they take
Yeah, Loki's like, fuck it. Let's find out what happens. Fail safe. Well, I'll figure it out.
yeah. I mean, I got my other favorite line was, "How long will it take, Ouroboros, for you to tell me everything you know about like quantum engineering?" And he was like,
Centuries?
"Yeah." He's like, "Centuries," and he's like, "Okay,
Centuries later.
yeah, centuries later." That's commitment.
Yep.
Like that's so good, and that also reminded me of the scene of Dormammu. I've come to make a bargain.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was just, it was a huge head fuckery on this one, but ultimately, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So something I've been seeing on Twitter is people have been playing side by side Loki first dying in Thor, and then Loki like leaving in this one. It's kind of, it's for you, for all of us, like before he drops off his staff to go like off the Rainbow Bridge in Thor. That's what he says when he closes the door in front of Sylvie and stuff. Except it's, more meaningful and earned or whatever, kind of like that. The Ouroboros that comes back around, and
I did not know that.
well, even the name of the last episode, Glorious Purpose, was the name of the first episode.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it comes back around.
And I was wondering why they were showing that, because they were showing the clip from, like, the movie. I am charged with glorious purpose, you know? And I was wondering, why are they showing this?
That's kind of like his belief or whatever. And then even the old one at the end of season 1, when he was putting up the illusion that stopped Alioth, that like cloud eating monster, he even said, like the old one was yelling, glorious purpose. That's just kind of Loki's thing. He believes he's destined for some glorious purpose.
Born to lose, that's what they said. Yeah, when that guy was like, you're a born loser, you're a villain, you're a bad guy. And then he was like, with mommy issues. And like when he kind of looked down, I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to fucking kill this guy. And then like Morbius was like, temper? Or he said something like easy or something like that. And then finally Loki was like, I'm just going to walk out and shake it off. And then when Mobius gets it, he walks out, you could tell he's super butthurt. And he's like, Mobius, you okay? I'm fine. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, well, you went in here. I was following you. No, I was literally right behind you. Okay, he got to me. I don't think I've ever enjoyed Owen Wilson in anything as much as this.
He's really good in this. I also like him in Shanghai Noon and stuff like that.
He was good.
I like him having someone to play off of. And I think him and Tom Hiddleston have good chemistry in this particular one.
Yeah, but he's always Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Wow. Like everything he's in, he's just Owen Wilson. It's just like Gary Busey is always Gary Busey, and fucking Mark Wahlberg is Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, why'd you say that?
Hey, did you know they're about to come out with another movie?
Which movie? An Uncharted?
No, it's another fucking monkey movie.
Another monkey movie? I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the trailer at least.
Yeah, you watched it?
Not yet.
It looks good.
All right.
You want to stop this video so we can go watch it real quick?
No, that's okay.
I can't wait. Like, as soon as I saw that trailer, I was like, oh, God, Nick gets to do his impression again.
It's not going to have Mark Wahlberg in it.
No, nowhere near it, but you're still going to do it.
Apparently I've been committed.
It's good stuff. But, yeah, it's just all the acting in this season, fantastic.
I like Loki's place at the end as like time god or whatever.
Yeah, he's like sitting in his fucking throne.
And formed it into the Yggdrasil world tree.
Yeah, yes. And then even then it's like the way it looked like when he was grabbing the strands of time and like pulling them together and infusing them, it almost looked like the Matrix. Because they were like,
like that little sparkly green shit or whatever.
And then it's like, he almost looked like Fate in a way, where he's just kind of sitting there with all these fucking strands of like possible time loops and everything like that. If that's not Fate, I don't know what the fuck it is.
And I've seen some people on Twitter theorizing like, it's Time Man Green Time Stone? Is he forging a new Time Stone?
I think that's a reach.
I think it's a reach, but
yeah,
I imagine it's a coincidence. But at the same time, in the future, they could be like, yeah, we always plan that. When you watch Thor 2 and like the red misty thing, they're like, yeah, that's the reality stone. It's always been there. And like later they broke a staff and like, yeah, the mind gem's in there. It just kind of seems like, They're like, we need a Mind Stone. We'll take this one. And here it is. That's a Mind Stone. So I think later in the future they could end up being like, yeah. You guys are smart. You figured that out. Woo!
I honestly still think they read like fucking people's Reddits and just go, that looks really good. Let's just incorporate that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad way to do it. Don't be like Ryan Johnson. Don't read the internet and be like, not that one, not that one, not that one. I'll come up with a new one. She's nobody. Like, I won't piss anybody off.
Oh, what do people want?
That's
Put it together and tell me what everyone wants to see in this movie from this Reddit thread, and then I will poo-poo all of that.
It's just make something enjoyable. I mean, if you're going on the internet to try to make something that no one has thought of, like not even the smartest minds of the internet kind of coalesce together can come up with what I've put together. So while they're coming up with all these theories, I'm just gonna crumple them all up and throw them away, even though maybe like 4 or 5 of them are really good ideas. Nope, someone thought of it. I can't use that. So like, if it ends up being a good idea and like we have a new Infinity Gauntlet in the future, and it all comes back around to this, I'm like, whatever.
I don't think the Infinity Gauntlet even matters now.
No.
Now they've done the TVA, and like when Loki saw the fucking Infinity Stones,
just pick 'em out.
he was like, "Yeah, we grab these out of fucking timelines all the time. You want to take a couple for your desk, you know?" Like that's. I don't think they have. I think as the movies go on, you need to find a way to back the power down. But it's like they keep going,
Keep ramping.
Yeah, they keep ramping it the fuck up. So
Hopefully these spotlight shows, whatever they're calling, will ramp that shit back down a little bit.
I've heard tell that it's highly believed after Kang, the bad guy's going to be either Doctor Doom or Galactus.
I would like Doctor Doom. Galactus is a force. He's not a villain.
Yeah,
He's just a thing that comes and like gobbles your planet and pimps away.
But even if it's so, the one thing I did like about the Rise of the Silver Surfer. Mm-hmm. Like I like the way they made Norrin Rad look.
He was cool.
Yeah, he was cool. Like the way they did the surfboard and like all the effects, he looked great.
Like how he like went down to the surfboard and like on the other side.
To be upside down and he was kind of like looking backwards.
It was good.
Yeah, that shit was fucking dope. That was like the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, "Oh, let's make a guy with a really ugly hat," and they were like, "Nah, let's make him smoke."
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that's fucking terrible.
That's bad.
But apparently that's going to be canon now because I think they're bringing back the guy that was going to be the fucking dude with the big head.
MODOK?
Not MODOK.
Doctor Doom?
No, in that movie.
In Fantastic Four.
So no, it was the Hulk movie. Like
Leader.
Yes, the leader.
Okay.
So they're bringing back that guy.
Okay. I mean, well, that movie is canon. It is. Because they brought Thunderbolt Ross from that one in. And they had Tony Stark at the end of that movie.
Okay.
It is. I think they even reference it later. And also the kid that gets pizza from Bruce Banner is the teacher in Spider-Man Homecoming. Same actor, and so I think they hired the same actor, and then when people were like, "Oh, it's the same actor, is that the same kid?" Kevin Feige's like, "Yeah, why not?" So it ended up being the same character.
I did not know that. I didn't think that movie was going to be canon.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess
even with Marvel What If,
everything else that was in that movie basically became canon too. Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they brought back A-Bomb. Well, I guess Abomination, A-Bomb, someone else, or a different version of her or something. But in the What If episode with Hank Pym, he remember Hulk went, and that was that scene of him jumping out right before the onslaught with Ross in the Hulk movie.
That's right.
So they've already called back to it. It's canon.
Okay, my bad. Mm-hmm. But as far as I heard, that was something I heard they were going to bring him back, and I was like, where the fuck are they going to slide him in at?
I'd like to see Leader. He'd be fun.
I'm trying to think of his name. Like I've always.
Oh, just the guy who was Leader or whatever.
I'm trying to think of his name. Yes, the guy who was Leader, but he had a name that started with a D in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and I've always called him that every time I see the actor. I have no idea what the fuck his name is, but his name starts with a D in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and I'm just like, for some reason I'm blanking.
Tim Blake Nelson.
There you go.
Is the actor, and he's in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, which is Delmar or
Delmar. That's right. We found a whole Gopher Village. It's a fucking great movie if you've never seen it.
But yeah, I'd be down for them. He was I'd be just kind of curious to see. I want more villains that aren't the mere opposite So when you have like the super smart guy versus the super strong guy, that's more interesting than I'm super strong, you're super strong, let's super strong together. I'm like,
Yeah, it would be interesting to see him come back. But, it's like they kind of made him into what he was turning into,
and
and
then
then
forgot about him.
then no one said another fucking word.
Yeah. Well, while I'm on
Oh,
IMDb,
sorry, I didn't look. I promise I
yeah,
didn't look.
I wasn't scrolled down far enough.
All right, good.
So I guess Loki season 1 and 2 are kind of averaged together. So it would be the combination of Loki, all 12 episodes. What do you think it is averaging on IMDb at the moment?
71.
So 7.1.
Yes.
8.2.
Nowhere near.
Like 1.1 off. But season 2 has been getting like 8.3, 7.6, 7.8, 8.8, 8.9, 9.6 for the latest episode.
Yeah, that last episode was dope. Oh, and Miss Minutes was so great this season
Yeah,
too.
they did. I don't know. They
Hair
did like
strong.
a villain arc with her, which was like okay.
But I mean, the part that was like they even made her like creepy.
Yeah, when
When
was
she was
coming on to Victor Timely. Or
yeah,
whatever.
she's like, why didn't you ever give me a body? I could have been your girlfriend. I was like, all right, let's settle the fuck down, Miss Minutes. But it gave her a lot of range, and she was very interesting, and like it showed you how fucking sinister she was too. Like when they launched Homegirl in the boat, and she
Yeah.
was like, she was telling you could do this, that. And she, like she was
Yeah.
terrible. But I mean, she was so adorable in the first movie.
Yeah,
So
so she was
cute.
just kind of a little anthropomorphized tutorial.
Yeah.
It's like a Clippy coming out in Windows, being like, "Hey, how you doing, buddy? He's gonna come and get you. You should get him while you can."
Yeah, you
Like,
want me to stab him in the face for you? Yeah.
would you like me to open up a website for you that shows you how to murder people? It's like, no, stop it, Mr. Clippy. It's none of that.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought it was really interesting how she was so adorable and cute, and then like in the first 2 episodes of this season, they were just like, I think she's bad.
Yeah, she's a villain.
Yeah,
Well, she was made by Kang.
yeah, she's fucking Kang's hype man,
Yeah.
But Tara Strong, you were excellent.
So Loki season 2 on IMDb has got some percentages.
Ooh,
What would you think the critics? I mean, 157 reviews, so it's a good sample size.
critics. 8.6.
So 86%.
Yes.
81%.
By Price is Right rules, I did not win the car.
It's never Price is Right rules.
Oh well.
It's only Price is Right rules in Price is Right.
I live my life by Price is Right rules.
What about the audience?
You said it was 81 with the critics?
That's correct.
I'll say 91.
80.
80? They liked it less than the
I
fucking
mean,
critics?
that's about this. I mean, when you think of the audience as 2,500 plus reviews, the critics only have 157.
Yeah, I guess that's
You
true.
wonder if there's more critics if it levels out to be about 80-ish%,
Okay.
which is fair. I think that's a good score for it. It's pretty good.
See, I've heard people talking shit about this because this was yet another thing that came out for Disney where they're like, Disney's losing steam. Feige's in trouble. Like...
They say that about one, and then the next one's pretty good, and they say that about one, and the next one's pretty good, and it's I don't know.
True. Like this season of She-Hulk, a lot of people talk a lot of shit about season.
She-Hulk,
I thought it was fantastic.
It's pretty good.
But like I've also heard now that fucking Daredevil is like been put on permahold.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
So that sucks.
And Blade is 2025 or
Why?
20. Yeah, it's or 20. Maybe it's 2026. It's way the fuck up there.
You tickled our balls in the Eternal, and now you're not going to give us any of that.
That's how I want fucking Blade. I want to see some of the Midnight Sun shit because we've been getting more of that recently. Like we got the Marvel Midnight Suns game. That came out with the Marvel Midnight Suns in the Legendary game that we play.
I don't have it yet. I'm poor, but if you want to send me a copy,
They was even in the Marvel Snap game I've been playing this October. They put out like Elsa Bloodstone, put out Werewolf by Night and Man Thing and stuff like that. And we got the movie of Werewolf by Night. No, I guess the TV special.
yeah.
They released it this season in color, so it's the same exact thing, but just kind of colorized.
Oh, that's not as fun.
Yeah, it's not as fun, but I ended up watching because I just want to watch We Were Up by Night again, and it's like in color. I'm like, fuck it.
Now, did they even do the big now in Technicolor with the big fucking like
I don't think so, but
gooey letters?
I don't remember. It's
Okay.
kind of like I'll start it and then I'll start making a dinner, and then I'll sit down and watch it because I've seen it before. I don't need to pay super uber attention to it.
What'd you have for dinner?
A sandwich. When I watched that, which was weeks ago. It's weird that I remember that.
What kind of sandwich?
I don't know, like turkey and bologna and cheese.
Ooh,
It doesn't matter.
sounds good. Now I'm hungry.
So I think we run the course of like Loki's good.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just kidding. It's really good.
It's better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, so Amber was dragging her feet on it because she's got basically superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's like we have a ton of games to play. She would rather play she wants to play Baldur's Gate 3.
Versus
Versus watching shows, which is completely
Oh yeah.
understandable.
Because you're in the midst, like near the apex of like let's finish this and then get to some catch up shit.
The city is just so daunting though.
It's Baldur's Gate 3, Act 3 is like bigger than Act 1 and 2. It's fucking gigantic.
Yeah, but it's like in a game where it's dependent on like talking to people to be like, I lost my rabbit, go find my rabbit for me. For XP. You walk into the city and you're like, I am not talking to all these motherfuckers, man. Mm-hmm. There's so many of them. And then it glitched out on me. The dark elves, I could have had sex with both of them, but I said the wrong thing. And then they were just like, meh. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I think we've covered about all the bases, but I will say that my wife was not willing to watch this one immediately because she wanted to play video games. And then after I had watched it, because we wanted to get the review out, I went back immediately and I told her, I think it's a good watch. I think you'd like it. And she was like, okay, we'll watch it. Just got to find time.
Yep.
So.
Let's squeeze it in if you can.
Yeah, if you have Disney Plus.
I mean, what else are you watching on Disney Plus?
Plex.
I mean, what else are you watching on Disney Plus? If you have Disney Plus, what else are you doing with it? They're putting out some stuff, but I'm like...
Bluey?
Maybe? Is that where they're putting it?
I'm watching Bluey.
All right.
Come back for our Bluey review.
No, thank you.
He's not going to watch it.
It's so much shit to watch.
That is true.
But
Bluey's good.
hopefully you watch Loki. I think it's worth it. And I don't think... Like superhero fatigue, I guess. It's more of just kind of more the same movie fatigue. Because you can put out a superhero thing and have it be interesting again. It's not the superheroes. It's the Marvel formula that I think is probably getting people bored.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of the same sort of formula over and over
Bring
again.
it back to the street level, guys, man.
Yep, that's fun.
Yeah,
not everything needs to be into the timeline thread.
Yeah, I want to see more Kingpin. I want to see more Daredevil. I want to see more Elektra. I'd love to see, love to see Typhoid Mary. Oh, that'd be so good.
Out of the bounds of an Elektra movie.
Yeah, well, that was just bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Although I went back and watched it, I'm like, this could be a guilty pleasure movie because it's just trash enough to be fun to watch.
What do I have a feeling? See, I don't remember that movie. I barely remember that one.
It's trash, but it's like not so bad that it's awful to watch, but it's not like good, and it's not like mediocre. It's like in that line, like you got the middle of the road, and it's like down just a little bit, so you can be like, oh, that's fun. Because if you go too far, it sucks. If you go too high, it's just good.
I like that cage. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a series, like a spin-off series called What's Up, My Ninja? And we just watch shows with ninjas in it? Because that would give us the excuse of watching that.
Maybe. We're not going to call it that. It's two white guys, though.
That's a good point. All right.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Y'all have a wonderful day. Did I say hey? I think I said hey. I think you have wonderful hey. If you like hey, put it in the comments.
Bye.
Bye.